Hi. Hello peeps. So I set myself a goal of uploading one video per month, and it is the last Friday before the end of the month, and I thought that I could complete a video about me painting my wooden panels. But I don't know why I thought I could do it, because if you've seen my channel, there is a gap, there is 1 month that I've missed, and that is because I tried to do this project then and it didn't work because I didn't give myself enough time. So I don't know why I thought I could do it now, but I did think that, and it was a mistake. Here's a sneak peek. Just a quick one, don't be too greedy. Patience is a virtue. Point is, that video will not be done for this month, so I have less than a week to film this video and edit it and everything, and yeah, I'm sure I'll manage. I wanted to film this video anyway, it's just I was planning on doing it in maybe 2 or 3 months and not right now. Also, you might be asking yourself, Jessica, why did you choose this really flattering angle that is coming from underneath you so you just look like you've got the most amount of chins? It's because I prioritized making that other video, which didn't work out, and my room is a mess, and if I have the camera any lower then you'll be able to see it all. But yeah, chins, the mess of my room. I chose the lesser of the two evils. So it is May 2022 and you have been through a lot in the last 5 years. 5 years ago it was 2017, whoa. Crazy, you were still in sixth form. You met some great people there and you passed everything. You went to visit some friends that you made at sixth form in Berlin, and on that trip you met some more amazing people, so you decided to take a German course at university, which you started in September of 2018. You did sociology as your main course and German as a side course, and you soon realized that sociology was not the course for you. So you tried to change to have either geography or German as your main course. Because you did that way too late, they said the only option was to wait until next year and restart the courses from the beginning. And I thought, if I really like learning German and I have to wait a whole year before I can actually start learning German as my main course, why don't I just move to Germany? So that's what I did. I went back to my hometown and I worked full time. I also took as much overtime as I could, just worked and saved and saved and saved. And then in February of 2019, I moved to Cottbus, which is a small city in the east of Germany, very close to the Polish border, and it was beautiful there. I had my own apartment, renting of course, and the sun came in every morning and woke me up, and right outside my door I had a river, so that was great, and I really felt at one with nature. The only problem is, at that time I couldn't speak German very well, I could only speak English, so I struggled to find a job that would actually have me, so it was much easier for me to get a job in Berlin. What I ended up doing is living in Cottbus and commuting every day to Berlin, which was about a 1.5 hour train journey, and that was crazy. At that time I was only working part-time, so the money that I made from that job was only enough to cover my travel ticket and my rent. So any food or clothes that I needed was taken out of my savings, and I was kind of panicking about that because that is not a stable situation to be in and I hadn't saved up that much. Plus on the top of that I was paying back my student loans for that tiny bit of time that I was at university for. So pretty soon after I moved to Cottbus I decided to move to Berlin, and that was great. There were no problems or issues with that. I also lived in a really nice place in the south of Berlin, and I had a nice flatmate, and I was working for a company which sent me to different hotels every day to either cater for breakfast or for the coffee breaks in between conferences. And then COVID happened and I got made redundant purely because there weren't any guests in the hotels. I was very lucky that I managed to get a job very quickly after that. I started working in a bakery nearby my house. Everything was fine. And then I decided that I didn't want to live in the shared flat that I did anymore. Me and my flatmate had some disagreements, and I packed my bags and I moved to the west of Berlin. And it was kind of annoying because where I moved to was very close to my old job, and where I'd moved from was very close to my new job. So in a way, I was always miles away from where I was working. I was just living my life, continuing the status quo, nothing out of the ordinary happening. And then they opened an Edeka right next to my apartment. The bakery that I was working at the time was in an Edeka, so I thought this would be a crazy opportunity to miss if I don't transfer to work at this new Edeka, because everything would be new and clean and the colleagues will all be starting at the same time, so there won't be such a strong hierarchy that you might find in other workplaces. And it was about 8 minutes from my apartment walking, so that's what I did and that's where you are now. I am really happy with my job right now. I love my colleagues and I love the place. Yeah, I'm really happy. So that's just a recap of what's happened to you in the last 5 years. But I have some cues for you, future self, in 5 years. It will be 2027 when you watch this, and yeah, how's life? Where are you now? Do you still live in Berlin in 5 years' time? Because I do love Berlin and I can understand why people want to stay here forever, but I don't think I'm a city person. I miss the nature and it's just a bit too busy for me here. One of the things on my bucket list is to relearn how to sail and do it regularly. And I assume that's easier if you don't live in the middle of a city. Do you sail now? Now as in 2027? I hope in 5 years you found a place where you can sail, but don't beat yourself up if you haven't started again because it is very expensive. I hope you have though. I have just started a netball team and I've really been enjoying it so far. Are you still at that netball club? If you're not in Berlin, have you found another netball club or some other kind of sports club to keep you moving? Because I know, well, I don't know about the future, but definitely talking to myself now, I know that I don't have the motivation to work out on my own, so without a team sport, I'm kind of a potato. I hope you've managed to change that in the future. Do you have a boyfriend? Do you have a friendship group where you live? 3 years ago from now, so 2019, when you first moved to Germany, you prioritized only having friendships in German in order to boost your German language skills. That resulted in you not really being able to communicate properly and thus not really making very solid friendships. I do have friends now, but I definitely have individual friends who I know from here, individual friends from there. I would be interested to know in 5 years, do you have a friendship group which you always go to? Right now you have 5 tattoos. When I was younger, I wanted 4 or 5 tattoos, one on each limb, so that when I was in photos, even if my head wasn't in it, I was still recognizable as me, and I have that now. I have this one. I have this one, which will forever be my favourite just because it was my first. And secondly, I see it every day, and the other ones I don't really see very often. I see the one on my thigh when I'm on the toilet, but this is the one that I see when I'm at work every day, which reminds me to not be so uptight and formal, even if I'm wearing formal clothes. I have this one, which I got with my brother. How's your brother, by the way? Is he still doing well? Still living his stable life like he always does? Does he have a family? Oh. I have other tattoos, but they're in awkward places to show. Do you have more tattoos? This is the amount of tattoos that you always wanted to have, but tattoos are nice. Are you covered in tattoos? Do you have houseplants? Do you have a garden? Right now, you don't really get any direct sunlight into your room, so most things kind of shrivel up and die. But I do like flowers and having plants, and got my orange tree, which I've had since I moved to Germany. Do you cook food? Fresh food? Do you have enough money to invest in HelloFresh? Is HelloFresh even still a thing? Right now, I don't really have time to cook, so I get a sandwich at the bakery that I work at for breakfast, and I make a lot of ready meals in the microwave. If you cook real food, are you vegetarian or vegan? One of the main reasons why I'm not vegetarian or vegan now is because of ready meals. Almost all of them have meat in. Have you painted your walls? Or do you not do that anymore? Until now you've always painted your walls, but recently since moving to Germany you haven't been able to because you have only rented out places and never owned anywhere, and it didn't seem worth it to paint the walls. But as you can see, I started buying wooden panels and painting them, so is that the future? What do you miss about 2022? And what are you glad is not a thing anymore? Who do you know who you can't believe I don't know? Have you completed Duolingo yet in German? You were halfway through and then they updated it and added new courses. So overnight it changed to you only being a third of the way through. If you have finished it, I hope you treated yourself because a lot of hard work and time went into that. Right now, TikTok is the way that people like to waste all of their time. Is TikTok still a thing in 2027? Is there a new social media, or is social media even still a thing? Is Instagram still a thing? Do you live in a house? I can't imagine you would live in a house unless you are in a relationship, because at least right now anyway, I'm not the sort of person to waste space. I would much rather live in a small apartment and use my money for buying cameras or paints or going traveling or crazy stuff. Do you own an apartment or a house? Can you drive? Right now you can't drive. Your stepdad kindly offered to teach you how to drive when you were still living in your hometown, but you declined the offer because there was no need, because public transport was very good. And then moving to Berlin, the public transport is even better. So right now I can't drive and I don't really feel the need to learn. But can you drive in 5 years' time? I feel like if you have children, it's good to know how to drive. Not saying you have children, but if you have time and money, it's good to be prepared for when you have children, if you have children, you know? What's the state of the environment? Have we made a change, or are we in a crisis? I recently cut my hair by accident. What colour is your hair now? Because I know you have plans to dye it. Did you like it? Is your hair natural? Is it long? Are you bald? Anyway, I hope you're doing well in the future. I hope you're happy and content and have good people around you. Anyway, I have to go to work, so bye. Bye bye.